Don't know if I'm actually live yet. I'm waiting for it to actually show up on the screen. Gonna refresh. Is it live? Yes, it's live. Okay, good. Hey guys. All right, here we go. Here's my show. So welcome to Just Whelmed. It's my show where we're going to, all get together and we're going to binge Young Justice, as I've said a couple times. So doesn't look like there's very much of you here right now at the start. Hopefully people start filing in, but it looks like Ash and Joe are here now, so I'm going to get them in. We're going to just jump right into this. So let me do this. This. Let's see if that works. Already it's a shit show. All right. Let me just start throwing out some other stuff from people that have sent me their emails. Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Hold on, I can't hear anything. Shoot. This is an issue. Oh, okay. Here we go. Hello.
Hello.
All right, good. It was on my end.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything on my computer at first, and then I put the headphones in. It was fine. So it's just the quirks of Windows 10 not letting me hear the actual YouTube show on our computer, but we have it on the PlayStation as well. So.
Okay. Yeah, I since my second monitor is a TV, it was outputting through the TV, and I muted the TV. So
nice.
Fun times.
Yeah, fun times. I'm gonna
start
throwing out some. I'm gonna start throwing out some other invites real quick from people who have sent me their emails, just in case it reminds them that the show is live now.
No problem. But yeah, this is our first time watching Young Justice. It was fun.
Yeah, I'll get into some like first impressions in a bit. That's what I genuinely want to do for this episode, because it's only the first 2 episodes, and every episode after this is gonna. All right, so let me go through this now. Every episode after this, it's gonna cover 4 episodes, and I want to try to get people to decide what episodes they really want to cover beforehand. I'll probably have like 1 or 2 people the entire episode just to like vamp with me while I'm trying to figure things out. But I want to have it so that people don't like get tossed into an episode they might not necessarily want to talk about.
Yeah.
For example, there's going to be a chunk where everybody's going to want to talk about one episode, and I don't know how I'm going to handle that one. But let me get.
As a note, you are aware that it is leaving Netflix August 1st, correct?
I found that out almost immediately as I started, so I'm like, oh, we'll figure that out when we get there, but we'll be like halfway through season 1 by that point.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm aware. It is an issue, but it is we'll burn that bridge when we cross it.
Yup.
All right.
Oh man.
And got it right now. All right, so I sent out invites to everybody that's already sent me their emails. Let me check Twitter. Nothing so far. All right, so I guess let's just start talking about the episodes themselves. So starts off, it's got 4 different fights with 4 different ice villains, which is
Yeah.
pretty. It's there are a lot of ice villains in DC. When you really sit down and think about it, there's like I don't know if there's anything that holds that high number in the Marvel side. It's like, why ice?
Maybe like spider villains.
Yeah, maybe spider villains.
Because like Spider-Man's got like so many like themed villains around him. Maybe not even spider villains, just like that concept of like the Predator villain or the multi-jointed villain. Like you have, of course, Spider-Man has both Venom and Carnage, which are spider themed in their own right, and then you have Doctor Octopus, which is an arthropod with multiple limbs, and then was it Scorpion and the Spider Hunters or whatever they're called, the robots.
I mean, I would say that Venom is more Spider-Man themed, but
yeah, it's fair. It's very fair.
But yeah,
lots of ice villains, and they even make a comment about that in the show. It's like, yeah, we need to figure out why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why are all these ice villains attacking all at the same time? Why is Captain Cold stealing ice? Nobody knows.
On July 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the big thing why I wanted to start the series this week, because it's a time-based series. It's like the dates play okay, Eric Monroe's not home yet, so he'll get here. He'll get here when he gets here. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
No problem.
Yeah, it's like time plays a big point in this. Like, there's a lot of things that take place on specific dates, and as you notice, you get specific dates and times in the corner of the screen, and that'll play a huge role going forward from this point on. And it's like, that's why I'm like, I really got to rush to get this started, because I'm like, why would I not want to start this the weekend after July 4th?
Yeah, right.
I kind of had a feeling that like that was what you were going for when I noticed the date. I'm like, oh, this has to be more than a coincidence.
Yeah, it's a little more than a coincidence. So we get there.
Maybe about as much of a coincidence as 4 ice villains in one day.
Yeah, that's yeah. You hit it right on there. But we'll get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That's the actual,
Yes.
not the joke that I made earlier.
Nope.
All right, so we start off. It's like we got 4 hero sidekick pairings. We got Batman and Robin. Obviously, we got Aquaman and this brand new Aqualad. Well, not brand new now, but brand new then. That was his first introduction ever into anything. Is this new Aqualad? We've got Green Arrow and Speedy, and of course we've got Flash and Kid Flash. And yep. I will have to say that I'm gonna lay my cards down on the table now. This is the best Wally West ever. There is no topping this Wally West.
It's fair. I like him because he's just enough of Flash to get the what we like about Flash, the snarkiness, the little like childish isn't the right word, but the really immature is not even the right word, just the really comedic attitude. And I really enjoy that about the Flash, and the fact that Wally has that as well is really nice.
Yeah, it's like, it's like I said, this is it's my personal favorite version of Wally West, and we'll get into a lot more of that as we progress further. Like I think not next week, but the week after is we're gonna pretty much start off with an episode that'll really go into why I love this Wally West. But that's for a future episode. I'm not going to talk about that now. But one thing I really do like is like they've got this sort of, it's like they got this like this younger Robin's like, and and like it'll be brought up later, but he is the first sidekick, but is also the youngest of the group, and that plays an important role later on. But it's like I like this sort of Robin who like he's like he thinks that he knows as much as he can, but it's like he makes mistakes. He runs off, leaves everybody behind. It's like, what? I thought you guys were behind me. No, No, we were fighting Robin.
We almost died.
Yeah. That is skipping ahead a bit. So it's like in the episode itself, we've got. In the episode itself, we've got, all the sidekicks get to gather together and go into the Hall of Justice, which I think in a great twist is just a public front, and 3 out of 4 of the sidekicks had no idea about the Watchtower, including Robin.
Yep.
I'm like, and that's just like, oh my god, it's like Robin doesn't know something right off the bat, and that's just mind blowing to me. It's like, yeah, Batman, he's prepared for anything. Doesn't tell Robin about the Watchtower.
But see, that's also so Batman though, because he compartmentalizes everything, and that just kind of makes so much sense. It's really funny that the one who let it slip isn't Flash though. That the one who let it slip was Arrow.
Yeah, and just the look on like Batman's face, it's like, really, dude, you told him? Like, what's wrong with you?
I didn't tell my literal son, but you told your partner.
Yep.
And then Roy gets
very angry.
Yeah, Roy gets mad and leaves, and it's like, yeah, it's a big departure from like the Roy that we get on Arrow, because the Roy that we get on Arrow is like very calm, mellow-ish, sort of, when he's not got Mirakuru. But he's super loyal to Oliver, and in this moment, it's just like all of that goes out the window, and he leaves both his friends and his partner, and is like, and immediately it's like the probably one of the best things, like, why didn't we go with Speedy? Yeah, why didn't you go with Speedy?
Because Robin's smarter than that. Robin's like, no, Batman would probably legit kill me.
I mean, yeah, but why? It's like, yeah, and Aquaman is his king, but we'll get into how close Flash and Kid Flash are later down the line. Well, what I do like is that everybody does get episodes with their mentor to like really establish that connection, and it's one of the things I really love about this show. And so also they go into some weird characters that like I wouldn't even think about, give a second thought to, but let's go into one of them with Guardian.
Yeah. The hell is that?
Like, yeah, original Guardian, not Jimmy Olsen Guardian, like original Jim Harper Guardian, aka Roy's uncle.
Oh wow!
Which is why, if you didn't notice, it's voiced by the same voice actor.
I did not know that side either.
Yeah. It's like, and then so it's like we get this whole thing. It's like there's a fire at Cadmus Labs, which is just this nice 2-story building, but Batman really wants to investigate. And there's also this huge event that needs all the Justice League to go. The big leagues are like, let's go take care of that Cadmus thing. So they go to Cadmus. That's where all hell breaks loose, because Cadmus, if you know anything from the Justice League animated series, Supergirl, Cadmus never up to any good.
They like their cloning.
Yeah, they do enjoy their cloning. They do enjoy a clone or two. So.
And controlling people's minds.
Oh yeah.
When he starts to question, like, wait a minute, what are we doing?
No, what they really like. What their MO really is. Their MO really is they'd like to clone and then mind control those clones, is what they tried to do with the sidekicks themselves. And one of the things I really love, going back to it now we're actually there, I love the fact that they don't necessarily gel as a team right away. It's like you got Wally running ahead and then immediately running into a bunch of what are they, xenomorphs? I think they're xenomorphs.
Yeah, they're xenomorphs.
Yeah. And it's like we get Robin, he's like just running ahead just so he can hack everything. By the way, I love Robin in this so much.
I do too.
It's like as evidenced by what I've named the show. He's so great this season.
He's
like,
super snarky, and that's I
Yeah.
love characters like that. There's a line he has in the second episode that I lost it when they did the cut with this line. And you probably are
I know what
guessing
you're
the
talking
one.
about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, like what you named the show, I made a comment in the chat that like how much I love the name of your show, because when they show up, and I think it's like Kid Flash is like, oh my god, this is so great, I'm so overwhelmed. One of the other sidekicks was saying that, and Robin, just as an aside, is like, Freeze was underwhelmed, you're overwhelmed. Why is nobody ever just whelmed?
Yeah, that's at that. I will let you know, this is gonna be a running joke for the entire season, and it just keeps getting great. It's fantastic every time I hear it. This, by the way, Jesse McCartney as Robin. That's like you. That's like you wouldn't even like give a second thought to like, yeah, Jesse McCartney, the singer. He's Robin. He's this Robin, and he's doing a fantastic job. But the entire voice cast, that's also Cyborg's voice actor doing Aqualad as well.
Okay.
And it's like if you didn't know that, it's so hard to tell. It's like when you know it, you can hear it, but it's like, yeah, it's a completely different dude.
Yeah, it's the line delivery. And it's like a deeper. He uses like a lower octave of his voice for Aqualad.
It'll definitely lower than the Teen Titans Go Cyborg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Old school Cyborg does have a lot of like nice serious moments, but Teen Titans Go Cyborg's always at an 11.
I don't even like that show that much, but the handful of episodes I've seen, I was like, yeah, that's like it's fine. It's a fine show.
That's like my big issue with that show is like they took the in between gags that used to air between season 2 of this, made that a show, and canceled this in one fell swoop. That is my biggest gripe with Teen Titans Go, and like, yeah, they've got some pretty good episodes, but a lot of them are not good.
Dismal.
It's essentially all of their episodes where they're dealing with the criticism of the show. It's like they either get it spot on, like with the Control Freak episode, or they get it so wrong in the episode where they actually have Aqualad, Superboy, and Miss Martian in it. But anyway, speaking of Superboy, one of the things on the 52nd sublevel is a clone of Superman. They wake him up, and then they get wrecked by him. And it's
I'm about to say, the only thing that would have made this more of a modern take, because I know this show came out in 2010, right?
These 2 episodes came out in 2010. The season 1 started ish in early 2001 and then ended to 2011, and then season 2 aired during my sophomore year of college, which was like 2012.
I just get the image of like, we've made a good decision, and then suddenly they wake him up, and then he starts beating the crap out of them, and just like slow-mo, you hear Robin's narration in the background. We made a terrible mistake.
But then that closes out the first episode. Second episode, well, really second part of this episode, Fireworks. What I really liked about the first episode, it's called Independence Day for more than one reason. Because one, it takes place on Independence Day. 2, it's the day they get their independence, and I love it. And then, of course, this episode is called Fireworks because stuff explodes.
So much.
So many explosions.
They got some great episode titles. Like I might be going into a little bit of spoilers here, but down the line they have an episode, Cold Hearted, and it is by far one of my favorite episodes, and it's really good, and I can't wait to talk about it. But talking about this episode now. It's like there's just so much. I love the show so much, guys. You don't understand.
Well, and that's kind of a hallmark of like DC animated in general. Everything they do with their animated stuff normally is just fantastic. Like Justice League in general, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited were fantastic shows. And I love DC animated so much.
Oh yeah, that's like once again also another great Wally West voiced by Lex Luthor of Smallville, Michael Rosenbaum. Yeah. That's it's like another sidebar. I love the episode where Flash and Lex switch bodies. Yeah. So it's like
I have no clue who Lex is.
Yeah, I also really enjoy. Yeah, I really enjoy where Lex Luthor's like, well, I mean, as long as I'm in the Flash's body, I can find out his secret identity. Pulls the mask off, looks in the mirror. I have no idea who this is.
But it's just so great because nobody would know who Wally West is unless you lived in his city.
Yep. And possibly even worked for the police department.
That's like you would know who Clark Kent is. He's a fairly famous reporter. You would know who Bruce Wayne is. Yeah, relatively. You would know who Bruce Wayne is.
Yeah,
it's like you would know who Oliver Queen is. You would have no idea who Barry Allen or Wally West is.
Yeah, exactly. Any of them. It'd just be like it's just there's that silence moment where he's staring in the mirror and he's just like, I have no idea who this is.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of transitioning on this, I want to bring up a point here. It's like one thing is that nobody addresses each other by their actual name quite yet.
Yep.
Mostly because one, Superboy doesn't have a name yet.
Nope.
He has Superboy. That's it. Two, it's actually gonna play a big part of that Robin's actually going to keep his secret identity secret from the team. And obviously, Aqualad has no reason to. He's from Atlantis.
Yeah. Yep.
But we'll be going some exploring a little bit, and just based on things later, we'll get an interpretation of how close each member is to each other. Like we'll know that Wally and it is Dick Grayson. Wally and Dick are actually really close guys. Well, and it's like you understand. It's like it shows.
In the episode they get along, like they high five. I love after in this end of the second episode when they're like all recovering from the big fight and they're like, yeah, high five. Oh.
Yeah, it is probably the best portrayal of the Dick Grayson Wally West friendship.
Yep.
And we'll see a lot more of it later on. As I don't want to get into that, but it is also another very good episode when all that's covered. And I don't want to cash my chips in too early.
Yeah.
It's there's so many, but it's like back on point. Wake up. They're in the tubes. Yeah, Superboy. He wasn't really fully in control. He was being mind controlled a bit. He's like, I didn't want to hurt you guys. You guys are heroes, and like also they don't want to fight Guardian. Guardian's a hero, but Guardian's like, you gotta. It's like, and it's also that's one of the weirdest things. It's like it's like when Wally was like he can talk, and then it's like dude, it's like yes he can. It's like it's not like I called you an it, and then everybody else proceeds to call him an it. It's like, why'd you get mad at me?
They bring that up later in the episode. One of them's even like he doesn't really like being called it. Probably shouldn't do that.
No. Oh, it's man, but it's like they talk Superboy into wanting to leave, and it's very important for his character that he wants to leave because it's like we'll show you the sun. I'm pretty sure it's nighttime. We'll show you the moon.
Yep. Which I think that's Wally that does that whole thing, and it's perfect because he's just like it's a very Flash thing again, showing that like there's a lot of their mentor bleed over. Like while Robin still acts kind of like a kid and still has kind of that kid cockiness, at the same time he's very Batman about a lot of things. like he's very good at what he does, and he shows the skill, and he's very disappointed with himself to the point where when they're breaking out of the tubes, he actually gets free before Superboy helps him escape.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, I'm really glad Batman's not here. If he saw me, or if he knew how long it took me to get out of there, he'd kill me himself.
yeah.
He's a little harsh.
We will get probably more.
It's always a party over here.
Yeah, it's always a party.
Sorry.
We'll get a little bit more of Batman than the other mentors, simply because he is going to have a lot of direct interaction with the team. But that's not to say that we won't get interaction with the rest of the team. Even Green Arrow, we'll get some decent Green Arrow, but I don't want to get into stuff with that later. It's like what's also nice that we're going to be getting Red Tornado, who's a very underutilized DC character, and Black Canary, who's done really well here. And it's like, but back to the episode, they plan their escape. We get to the point where it's like he didn't hack the motion sensors. He hacked the motion sensors.
Yeah,
he
that
hacked
was
the motion
great.
I
sensors.
love that cut.
That gag cut is just fantastic. He's like, he hacked the cameras, but he didn't hack the motion sensors. Oh, they're in here. All right, let's just wait for them to come out of the vent, and we'll beat them up when they come out of the vent. And then here come all the freaking G-goblins or gremlins or whatever they're called, and they just like dogpile. And he's just the doctor dude's lying there. It's like, he hacked the motion sensors. Cuts. I hacked the motion sensors.
Well, also, like, when Superboy hears the voice in his head telling them where to run, it's like, okay, if these guys have mind control, like, they're just setting up for a trap, but then they, like, exploit the situation. So, like, did they know that he would exploit the situation? And it kind of, like, made you think as an older viewer, because you can pick up on those things a lot better than maybe, like, a younger viewer.
My initial thought that was Martian Manhunter.
No, yeah, well, we're not. That's not quite Martian Manhunter yet.
Nope.
But that's like that guy does. He will come back, because we'll definitely be coming back to Cadmus. You think we get something that big and not come back to it? We will
Especially
be
when there's like that scene afterwards
with
where
all the mysterious figures. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are the bad guys for the show. By bad guys, I mean those are the bad guys, like all of them. Like pretty much every bad thing that happens is somehow related to them.
I like how they're a shadowy group of leaders who call themselves the Light.
I know.
And kind of a side note as well, to like they're like an Illuminati type situation. So I'm like, so the Light.
Yep. We'll slowly figure out who in fact is the Light and who is working for the Light as we go on. But you know, a lot of things have their reasoning, and we'll see, because it's like we got a long trip ahead of us, and a lot of dealings with the Light, and who's with the Light, who's not with the Light, who left the Light, who's replacing people in the Light, and it's like it's like this mesh, and then we'll get to a point where it's like, yeah, here's all the bad guys, and it's like, nope, that's not the Light. It's not the Light though.
Nice.
Let's see. Eventually, everybody does escape. Guardian's free from mind control. Finally, gladly take him, back at full capacity. And then Superboy sees the moon, and through the moon, we see Superman. Oh, wait, but before we do that, one very important thing: Superboy does not have heat vision. Superboy cannot fly.
Yep. So I actually wanted to bring that up. I really am kind of wondering, like, is that because? Here's the thing: Superman gets his power from exposure to the radiation of the sun. So if you cut Superman off from the sun long enough, he eventually just becomes a dude. And part of the reason Superman is he spent an entire lifetime on Earth absorbing yellow radiation and stuff. Because there's always, in the comics, they always make the point that, like, someone throws Superman into the sun in one fight, and he just comes back practically as a god, almost just nigh invulnerable. So, how does Superboy have any powers?
He does have powers. His suit is actually a solar radiation suit. That it actually it's pretty much a suit that's like, yeah, you have constant solar radiation at all times. It's just they go into why he doesn't have all of Superman's powers. I don't want to go into that. If you know the character, you know why. But I don't want to bring it up yet because it's a big dramatic moment. But probably the best thing about this entire moment is like Superboy's like, I am Superman's clone, and Superman has no idea what to do with that.
Yeah, just the look on his face.
It's perfect. It's like, it's like this guy who can win any situation has no idea what to do.
Yeah, it's really funny because he's got this look on his face like he's just like somebody literally just told him like, hey, remember that time we were together in high school? Well, this is your son.
Yeah.
And he's just got this look like,
I didn't want to be a dad.
He's like,
Superman works alone.
No, it's like it's super complicated, and it will last for a while, and it's like it plays a huge role in the season, and it's like, and then when we get to season 2, it's like we see how they've progressed, and it's so good. But as of right now, it's like it's like Superman wants to do nothing with Superboy. It's nothing to do with him, and that's gonna be huge. And then it's like, of course, by the end of the episode, they all go to Mount Justice, a whole different Justice League base, and they which is accessible by BoomTube.
Which is a teleportation system designed on Apocalypse, I think.
Yeah. I think so. They go into the origin of the BoomTube technology in another episode, which is good. They go out of their way to address things that like you wouldn't always address. Like they have like going forward, they will have an Adam Strange story. It's like, nice. Adam Strange, really, out of everybody, and and all that's got to do with BoomTube stuff, and that's great. And what it's like, they all get to the team. It's like the five of you, and everybody's like, what, Speedy? And then it's like, nope, it's Miss Martian, not Speedy.
That, which they referenced that early on too. Like, I think someone had asked Martian Manhunter, like, aren't you glad you didn't bring her today or something? And he's like, yeah. And that's all they do. Or I forget the reference or exactly how it was worded, but like somebody's like, oh,
I think it was you know who.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It's you know who. That's how they reference her.
Yeah. And which is great. We'll get a lot of Miss Martian here, which, you know, we learned a lot about, you know, Miss Martian with Supergirl, but that's like this is actual niece Supergirl, not just some other Martian Supergirl. Not Miss Martian.
She seems to have a little crush on Superboy though. Like, she changed her shirt to match his. Like, hey, I like your shirt.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's addressed immediately, and also Wally's crush on her.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he had a little Captain Kirk thing going. He's like, ooh, Green Woman.
Yeah, pretty much. But everybody's got such a great performance, and like I've been waiting to bring this up. You guys know who voices Superboy and Superman?
That I did not know.
Nolan
North.
Wait,
I figured it. Yeah.
I
figured it out. But I heard his voice. I'm like, that sounds so familiar. Is that Nolan North? And Joe looked it up. He's like, yep.
I didn't know it was Superman. I knew it was Superboy.
Yeah.
But not Superman. And then when I was looking that up, I also noticed Danica McKellar, who was on the Wonder Years and is a math genius and all sorts of other stuff, is the voice of Miss Martian.
Yeah, it's such a great voice cast. Honestly, it's a different Batman. But it's like, could you imagine this group of, you know, teenagers, but also with Kevin Conroy Batman.
Yeah. I like the guy they got to play
Yeah.
though, Bruce Greenwood.
Oh yeah,
he was in. He's been in like the most recent Star Trek films as the Admiral guy. I don't remember his name.
But yeah, it's
Pike?
like
Admiral guy.
yeah, but yeah, he's it's like it is definitely just a low gravelly all the time.
Yep.
Voice. It's like yeah, that's kind of intimidating in like a leader sense. It's like, and like I said, we're going to be going a whole lot into the mentors as well as all these different characters and all the interpersonal connections, and it's so good, guys, so good. I can't wait for more people to actually tune in so that we could talk to more people about this, but nobody else has showed up, so it's been great talking to you guys about this. It's been a lot of fun.
It has been a lot of fun. The show was really good. I'm excited to watch some more.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more and seeing like it's really well animated too. Like it looks really good.
Yeah, actually,
sometimes they kind of cheap out on the animation on some shows. Yeah,
it's like, but this is also in a time where a lot of shows looked pretty good. This is like before everything was done in Flash, and I would say that when the show first had its commercials, I saw the commercials without knowing anything about the show. It's like they had like the promotional materials like, don't call them sidekicks, and it's like, ooh, it's like, and then I looked at it, and then I looked at Robin's face. I'm like, I don't like Robin's face. But I'm like,
the hair is the only thing that weirds me out about all of them.
It's like I don't like Robin's chin, but it's a chin that grows on me. But yeah, it's like I can't wait to as we get further into the series and we get to dive into all these characters a lot.
I just saw something too at the end of the episode when they introduced Miss Martian. The only one not wearing any sort of costume is Wally.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though Superboy's costume is incredibly, like, for the rest of the series, even I think is incredibly like low costume design ethic. He's just wearing jeans and a Superboy shirt.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like, I mean, yeah, but the rest of them have costumes. But when they're all being introduced to the mountain, I think I'm sorry, Dick's also not wearing costume, but it's hard to remember that.
Yeah.
He's got his glasses
He's got sunglasses on.
He's got his sunglasses on. That's how he keeps his secret identity.
My identity secret. Nobody can see my eyes.
This is a Clark Kent school of thought.
But it's also a fair point. I don't think Aqualad actually owns any other clothes.
That's kind of what I was going with. I'm like, what else would he wear? I mean,
that's all he has. I was like, it's like, well, everybody. It's like Aqualad and Wally will be getting a slight upgrade to their costumes for more tactical purposes because they are going to be a Black Ops team.
Yeah.
And
because you want your Black Ops team, you want them to be teenagers. You always teenagers.
No, the thing that they need to address is the fact if you want a Black Ops team, you definitely don't want them wearing bright yellow.
No, you do not.
Just like you don't want your ninjas in orange,
Day glow.
Yeah, orange ninjas. What are you gonna blend into? What? The sunset?
Traffic cones. Traffic cones.
Yeah. But it's like I'm skipping ahead a bit, but I dig the upgrades that they do to Wally's costume, and you can see it in the intro. He's actually got like actual armored shoulder pads and everything, and it looks really good. And I'm like, I wish that it's like you can tell that's like they kind of went sort of with that with the CW costume, because it's like, yeah, they do have like sort of detached shoulder pads ish kind of thing here. It's like, oh yeah, Wally did. It's like this Wally did that first.
Yep. Young Justice did it.
Yeah, it's like but as we get further, guys, it's like this next group is like we'll round up the team with its sixth member, and then that'll be the core team for a while after this. But next week we got Welcome to Happy Harbor is the start, and that's just going to be the introduction to the area, and all the way through to the introduction of the sixth member, Artemis. And in the middle there, we're going to have a battle with Amazo, guys. I mean, actual Amazo with all the powers of the Justice League against this team, episode 5.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Nice.
they're not holding anything back, guys.
So yeah, it's one of those situations where it's like we're gonna hit the ground running, and by hit the ground running, meaning we're gonna throw you out of a plane without a parachute. Just
good luck, everybody.
Have fun.
Yeah, and I might be showing my cards a bit. They it's like not even running. They hit the ground like being shot through a cannon in season 2. It's like they managed to take this, and then they managed to go like so much harder in season 2, and it's like, but it's also in a way that's like it just makes you have to like throw out everything you knew about the show, because it's like, wait, what? Oh no, because I'm like I want everybody to experience this on its own, because I don't want anybody to look up anything about season 2 or anything about what's in the future, because I genuinely want people to experience this in real time, because there's a lot that's going to be spoiled if you look forward.
Yeah,
like a lot. No, you don't understand. A lot.
Well,
like,
that's
specifically, don't watch the end of the show, please.
Yeah, and I, like I said, I'd imagine there's comic shows like this tend to do the whole, like, if you like Spider-Man, the old animated series of Spider-Man started with him stopping like classic street level villains, and then by one of the later seasons we have Madam Web and the whole Spider-Verse thing going on, and it's a dramatic jump in what's going on in the plot, and then the whole Phoenix situation, the clones of Jean Grey and Mary Jane, in both Spider-Man and X-Men, they do the whole like, this wasn't really the person you thought it was, and all that jazz. So
yeah,
I can see that for this as well. There are big dramatic things that happen because that's how comic books keep an audience outside of the action side of things.
Yeah, it's like, I especially want to do this because there is going to be a little bit of a mystery element that's going to be thrown in pretty early on, and we won't figure out the actual answer to that until the end of this season. And I kind of want to gauge what people think, who people think is the person that is. I'm trying to be as vague as possible. Yeah, the person that's behind it, because I'm like I'm betting nobody's going to figure it out. I'm honestly betting that nobody's going to figure it out who hasn't seen it.
It's fair.
Like I know Bill. It's one of Bill's Bill Carriola's favorite series. So I'm like I kind of want to see like, hey Bill, do you think anybody's going to figure out who? It's like, it's going to be a mole. Like, you think anybody's going to figure out who the mole is? He's like, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we're. It's going to throw into question if there even is a mole. that's a possibility as well. And it's like we got a lot going forward, guys. And
looking forward to it.
Yes. Yeah, it still doesn't look like anybody else is shown up. So yeah. So
it happens.
Yeah, it's the first episode. I did kind of just spring this on.
For us, it's just, this is summer, so we had the only part that made this difficult for us was actually getting up before 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, that
mean different things.
Yeah, that's like, and like, it would be a bit harder on every other episode because instead of 2 episodes to watch, it's going to be 4, which will be just over an hour's worth of stuff on Netflix.
Yeah,
because it's about 22 minutes a piece.
Mm-hmm.
About 88 minutes worth of material to absorb, plus the few seconds in between each episode for you to remember, oh yeah, I need to hit next episode.
Before Netflix gets judgmental.
Yeah, before it gets judgy.
Yeah.
But in general, I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to more. It now makes me want to go back and rewatch Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
I mean, you got a limited time. Those are leaving in at the end of the month too.
It's not an unlimited amount of time.
It's like the one thing I'm holding on hope for. It's like that these are leaving, because they're going to silently announce that DC streaming where they're going to have season 3 on, and the new Titans show, and that it's all going to go up on there.
There is already talk that like Warner Brothers is getting its own streaming service, and that's the speculation as to why these are leaving.
Yeah, it's like that is that. And I'm like, it would make sense to launch that at the end of the streaming contract that they have with Netflix now. If they were to launch it as August 1st, if they were to launch it, I'm like, yeah, I've got to go get that. That's got all the DC shows.
It's the same thing. Like Bob's Burgers left Netflix and all the other streaming services because Fox has its own streaming thing starting. And I don't really want to subscribe to it because I don't care enough about a lot of other Fox shows. But I really love Bob's Burgers, and not being able to stream all the episodes anytime I want is really challenging to me.
But here's the thing. It's like at first I was like, yeah, it's like I'm like that's gonna suck. They're like, and like they got the DC streaming stuff, but they just signed a deal with like the 8 days later Netflix deal for the CW shows. So I'm like, oh man, it's like, but then I thought about it, I'm like, oh yeah, they're launching their own service. That's right.
Yep.
And it's like,
it's all complicated.
It is all complicated, and I hope that they have everything from like Super Friends to Young Justice season 3, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe not a Teen Titans though.
There is talk that they're doing there's already an announcement they're doing a season 3. I just don't know how it's going to go and where they're going to release it and stuff. So
yeah, I think they said it's going to be on the streaming service. I believe. Okay.
That's kind of cool. Might be worth a couple of months of subscription for something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially by the time you guys get to the end, you're gonna pay for that as soon as we get to the end of the series. I promise you.
Nice.
So anyway, I guess it's time to wrap up. So I guess it just kind of been on our final thoughts of these first 2 episodes and a little bit further on for me, but. That's just the way it goes, guys. It's just the way it goes. So, it's been great talking to you too. It's it's always a pleasure talking to you guys. And like, you guys want to plug what you guys are doing with your BFF binging stuff that you guys are doing.
We are about to take care of our Daredevil special.
Yeah, that'll be coming out sometime tonight. Not a specific time, but tonight.
Yeah.
Before midnight, hopefully.
If not, early tomorrow morning, like 1 or 2.
Depending on your time zone.
Yeah. And we are streaming currently Tales from the Borderlands, which you can find at our other channel, Geek to My Nerd.
Yep.
And we'll be streaming something else afterwards. We really haven't decided what.
No, we haven't, because I have to go on a work trip this week. So we're trying to finish Tales of the Borderlands before Monday, and then
by Monday.
Yeah, by Monday.
Yeah, by Monday.
But while she's out of town, I might be streaming some Fallout from the same channel. I thought about doing a survival mode play.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
So.
But yeah, check out all of our stuff over there and our show BFF at the Tough channel. There's plenty of episodes to check out while you wait for us to upload our Daredevil review.
Yeah, like the episode of Fan Friction I was on.
That too, yes.
Yeah.
Fun times.
I'm like, it's like after I started the show, I'm like, why wasn't Young Justice one of my backups?
Cross promotion.
Yeah, it's a but I am glad I won that round specifically, because I'm like I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I lost a answer where a question where all the answers were cartoons. I would never be able to forgive myself if I lost that one.
I kind of feel the same way whenever I have certain fights where if I lose that round, I'm never going to forgive myself. That's why, at least when one of the episodes that I was in, we had to deal with the best movie phone call. I'm so glad I won that round because I chose the phone call from Taken. And the only reason I think I was able to pull it off so well is because I was able to be able to paraphrase the whole phone call. So,
I mean, it is a very iconic phone call.
It is. It was the advertisement for the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's so often parodied too.
Yep.
And it's like
Big Family Guy did it twice, and
yeah. I mean, Family Guy did an entire Taken parody episode.
Yep. Where Meg got kidnapped and Peter kind of half-hearted searched for her.
Oh, of course. Poor Meg.
But
yeah. So great episode. It's time to call it quits because I don't have a way to end this, so I'm just gonna stop.